place. Inside, there are two
Hey
smaller
guys,
tanks, one for liquid hydrogen
it's
and
Amy
one for
here,
liquid
and
oxygen.
today
These
we are
tanks will
going to
remain
be
empty until just a
playing
few hours before
a
the
very
launch.
fun game,
Now, at room
and this
temperature,
is the name
hydrogen
of
and
it.
oxygen are both gases which take up an enormous amount
It's
of
kind of
space.
obvious.
But if we put
That's
them
the
at
start. I'm
extremely
gonna
cold
wait.
temperatures, they
Oops.
will turn into liquids,
Wait.
and we can put a lot more fuel inside of the tanks. The liquids from each tank will flow through pipes down to where
I think
they
I need to
connect
make
the
it bigger.
orbiter.
So.
This side is for the liquid hydrogen, and this side
Okay,
is
let's
for
not
the
care
liquid
about
oxygen.
this.
Once the orbiter was ready, it was then
Okay, let's
transferred from the
just
OPF
speed like
to
that.
the VAB.
So.
This was referred to as a rollover.
I'm doing
The
it.
orbiter was then hooked up to a crane and then carefully lifted up, moved over to the high bay,
Yeah,
and
so.
then mounted to the side of the external tank. The fuel and electrical connections are attached to the bottom of the orbiter. There is also another attachment point up towards the top.
That was awesome. So.
Once this is all ready to go, we need to move it to one of the launch pads, which are more than 5 kilometers away. This is referred to as the rollout. The weight of the entire shuttle stack is supported at the base by 8 hold-down posts, 4 on each of the SRBs. It's then
So I'm
secured in place by
completely
the
just going to do this.
At the moment of liftoff, these will detonate to
Okay,
free
now
the
I'm gonna
shuttle.
stop messing with this for some
The platform
reason.
it's on is called the Mobile
So
Launch Platform.
cool.
Underneath is the crawler transporter,
Okay,
which
that's
moves
kind
everything at just under 1.5 kilometers per hour.
embarrassing.
It takes many hours to get all the way to one of the 2 launch pads.
That's a bit annoying. I think I enough of
Then
that.
up the ramp and slowly into position.
Ah,
The platform
well,
is
what
put down on
happened?
supports, and the crawler goes back down the ramp.
So,
The mobile launch platform has
oh my
large
gosh,
holes
this
for the
game's
rocket
so annoying
flames.
sometimes.
The 3 main engine flames will go through this hole, and the
Shock.
flames from the 2 SRBs will go through these 2 holes.
Can I get money?
Below the
Money.
pad is the flame trench.
I need
During the
money.
liftoff, the flames will be deflected to each
Money,
side.
I need money.
The structure next to
Money.
the shuttle stack has 2
Money,
main
money,
parts. The fixed service
Mr. Crab
structure,
says I want
which
to
doesn't move,
eat money.
and the rotating service structure, which can pivot around to completely
Stuff.
close the space shuttle.
I'm stuff, says Cleveland. Oh man.
Sometimes the payloads were loaded here in the vertical position, and other times they were loaded before this, when the orbiter was on the ground at the OPF.
Okay. I'm just trying my best to get a
a
little
lightning
money.
mast on top,
Money.
and then 3 service arms. 2 of them are
And you
vent
know,
arms,
might do
which will
something
collect
good, might
excess
do
hydrogen
something
and
bad, I
oxygen
don't
from
know.
the external tank. This is the gaseous hydrogen vent arm, with the ground umbilical carrier plate at the very end. At the top is the gaseous oxygen vent arm. Because the fuels are so cold, the beanie cap is really important to prevent ice buildup at the very
I
top.
was supposed to hire you some money.
The third arm is called the orbiter
Against
access arm. At the end of it,
headhunting. What's headhunting? Oh,
this is how the astronauts get
I
on
thought
board
it's
the
gonna hunt
orbiter
with his
in
head.
preparation for a
Oh,
launch.
shit.
Down here are
It
the
is
2
near
total
Christmas.
service
It
desks.
is
They have
not
connections
very
to
far
each
into
side of the
Christmas,
orbiter.
so
On the day of the launch, this is
I
where the fuel
want
will
you to
come
have
in
a
to
happy
fill
Christmas.
the orange external tank. If there is an
No
emergency
thanks.
on the launch pad and the astronauts need to get away in a hurry, they will come over here to the emergency
Money, money,
egress system.
money.
It has several
What am I going
baskets
to
that
say?
can
Why am I
quickly
doing
carry
that?
them far away from the launch tower. Each basket can hold 3 people. One more feature of the mobile launch
I
platform
need that to be
is the
hopefully.
sound suppression system. Water
Yeah.
will start pouring out from a few different places. This will limit the sound shockwaves from bouncing back up and damaging parts of the space shuttle as it leaves the ground. The water is stored in this large tower on the launch pad. So let's see how this works on the day of the launch. There are many things that have to happen in order. I can't cover them all in this video, but let me show you some of the main ones. At T-minus 5 hours and 35 minutes before the launch, fuel begins loading into the external tank.
Why would you just look at that?
The fuel comes from the white spherical tanks on the edges of the launch pad. Remember that the SRBs
Wait,
already
this is
have
gonna
their
be
solid fuel
epic,
inside.
guys.
At T-minus 3 hours, the astronauts leave
So
for the
what
launch
if I
pad
do it
and
all
begin to enter the
one
orbiter vehicle.
page?
Since the shuttle is vertical on the launch pad, all of the
I think
seats are
it's
in
gonna
the
be
laid-back position.
epic.
Most missions had 7 astronauts, 3 in the middeck and 4 in the flight deck. There are no windows on the middeck, so some of the astronauts won't be able to enjoy the view on the way up.
Oh my gosh, this is doing out so well. But I'm kind of giving up.
There's a lot of
Photoshop.
excitement coming up to the moment of liftoff. However, if there are any problems, such as mechanical failures or even bad weather, then the launch will be delayed or even canceled until another day. This is called a launch scrub. And it can happen all the way up until just a few seconds before liftoff.
Do you like
At
this
T-minus
game?
7 minutes and 30 seconds, the
85
orbiter
stars.
access arm is slowly
Wait,
retracted. If there is an emergency,
I
it can
hate
quickly bring it back into place.
I hate when
At
people
T-minus 3 minutes and 45 seconds,
money,
main engine gimbal test
no
to
one.
make sure that it's working.
Money!
T-minus 2 minutes and 55 seconds, the beanie cap is lifted and the gaseous oxygen vent arm is retracted. At T-minus 10 seconds, activate the hydrogen burn-off system. And no, this does not actually start the engines. That happens up here inside of the combustion chamber. What these sparks do is ignite any excess hydrogen. This hydrogen can cause an unexpected explosion at launch if it isn't taken care of. At T-minus 6.6 seconds, the 3 main engines ignite. All 3 of them must work correctly or they will shut down and abort the launch. At the moment of liftoff, many things happen simultaneously. The gaseous hydrogen vent arm is retracted from the external tank. The 2 connections at the tail service mast will retract. The 8 hold-down bolts will detonate, which frees the shuttle, and then both SRBs ignite.
This song is so intense.
For their journey into space, the shuttle is mostly flown by the autopilot. Of course, the astronauts can still take over if they need to.
Okay, so
Shortly after clearing the tower, they do what's called the roll program to get the shuttle so that it's heads down for most of the ascent into space. This reduces the aerodynamic stress on the wings. It will also allow the astronauts to see the curve of the Earth as they ascend into space. Now, as we keep gaining more and more speed, the air in the atmosphere will create pressure on the front of the spacecraft. Then as we get higher, the air starts to thin out. They use the term max Q to refer to the time when the aerodynamic pressure will be at its highest. During max Q, the main engines will be throttled down, so we don't accelerate too quickly. And shortly after, we can throttle them back up again. A little more than 2 minutes after liftoff, the 2 SRBs have done their job. They are detached, and then small rocket motors on the bottom and on the top fire on each booster to ensure that they are separated from the vehicle. The SRBs fall back down to the Earth where they will parachute in for a soft landing in the ocean. They will be recovered by boat and refurbished for
like and subscribe if you want to. If you don't,
now
that's
that
not happening. But if you do, that makes me very
As we get
happy.
higher, more and more fuel will be used up from the external tank. This means that the shuttle will keep getting lighter. We have to keep throttling down the engines or we'll accelerate too quickly. The maximum amount of acceleration we want the astronauts to feel is 3 Gs, or 3 times the force of gravity.
Money!
At about 8 minutes and 30 seconds,
Stop.
we have main engine pop, or MECO. This must happen before the tanks run dry so that the engines aren't damaged. The external tank is now detached. We're not in orbit yet, so the tank will head back down to Earth and burn up in the atmosphere.
Why did he
The 2 doors on the
ever?
bottom side of the shuttle will close now that the external tank is gone.
Rock?
If they didn't close,
Oh,
we'd
there
have
we go.
gaps
Rock
in the
tree.
heat shield at the end of the mission, which would not be so good. At this point, the orbiter vehicle is on the same path as the external tank. We're not quite going fast enough to stay in orbit around the Earth. Remember that the external
now I
tank
should be
has
owning
fuel
loads
for
of money
three space
with that
shuttle
thing.
engines, so we can't really use these anymore. Instead, we'll use the 2 OMS rocket motors. These each carry their own fuel inside of the pod here. This gives us that last push into orbit around the Earth. Now it's traveling at 28,000 kilometers per hour, many times faster than the speed of a bullet. Now it's time to do some science, release a satellite, or dock to the International Space Station.
Ha! Every second one's coming.
It takes a lot of time to make these videos. I think I've spent most of my summer learning about the space shuttle. I do this for a living, so I'm really grateful for the sponsor for this video, which is NordVPN. This is an app that encrypts your internet traffic, which means increased privacy and security when you are online. This means your browsing history is kept private from any unwanted prying eyes. But there's a lot more that NordVPN can do. It can also protect you when you accidentally click on a link to a malicious website. So that's
I
really
need to buy this.
The app is super easy to use. Just open it up and click on the Quick Connect button. That's it.
Won't be so
Super
hard.
fast servers, so you won't even notice a difference when you're online. And if you need to, you can even connect to a server in a different country. Why would you want to do this? Sometimes shows aren't available in the country that you're in. NordVPN can easily solve this problem. The app is available on whatever device you happen to be using, and you can connect up to 6 devices simultaneously. Right now, you can get 68% off a 2-year plan. Only $371 per month, plus if you use my link, you can get an additional month for free. That's nordvpn.com/JaredOwen.
Fight to the finish.
But
Ben, Chisora, Triple G. Live on the zone. The zone.
money,
Your option, your way.
large. What else was it? Anyway, never mind about that. Oh
The
wait,
Soyuz is a Russian spacecraft that can fit a crew of 3 on board. It is launched aboard a massive rocket, which is called the Soyuz rocket. In this video, I'll show you how this rocket is launched into orbit around the Earth. You'll
yes.
see the launch site in Kazakhstan, launch day preparations, and then their 9-minute journey into space. At the end of this video, I'll show you how the Soyuz spacecraft safely brings the crew back home. My name's Jared. I make 3D animations to show and explain how things work.
So I'm
This
going
video
to
goes
end the
really well
video
with my
here.
previous animation.
So